Okay, welcome to part 27. In this section, I'm going to show you how to do some lip syncing if my machine will cooperate. I've made a few attempts at this already and I keep locking up. I'll explain that as I go. Okay, first thing I want to do is go ahead and get rid of that path that we were working with last time. And go ahead and don't want to override it, so I'll go ahead and save a backup here, work from it. Okay, now let's go ahead and get rid of that armature, or that that action strip, the walk cycle action strip. Okay, now we need to go into the action editor and go ahead and clear out. Let's go ahead and back up all the way to frame 0. Go ahead and clear out that action, and let's make a new one. So right here, just go add new, and let's name it speak. Okay, now let's go ahead and make this a little smaller. Zoom in on his face because that's where all our work's going to do. Actually, just go ahead and select all the bones in pose mode and clear out all the motion that we've applied. Alt R, Alt S, and Alt G. Okay, now we don't need any of the body bones, we just need the face bones. So let's just turn on that layer that we made. Zoom in on the mouth. And let's go ahead and grab all of the mouth bones that we're going to be using. Actually, all the bones that we're going to be using right now. Side view. Using the jaw a lot and the lips. And that'll be all for now. We just want to form the words, and we can mess with the other subtle facial movements after we get the mouth forming the words. Okay, so I want to go ahead and hit I, and I'm going to insert a key for the loc, rot, and the scale. That's location, rotation, and scale. There we go. Keys in the window. Okay, now let's go ahead and save. Save often. Let's go into the video sequence editor. We're going to add audio HD. Now, the RAM is, I'm not sure what it is. I never can get it to work, but I think it has to do with the special audio format, which I don't have. So I always go to audio HD. And I have an audio folder already made. Name.mp3. It's just me doing a little voice for our character here, and he's going to introduce himself. So it runs up to about 6.5 seconds, or about a little over 6 seconds, but I don't want to animate all of that just yet, so I'm going to knock it down to 90 frames and end at 90 frames. There we go. So now our scene is only 90 frames long, 90 framed. And so go ahead and hit play. Actually, to be able to hear the audio, I have to click on the little speaker right here, little speaker icon. So now I'll hit play.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name.
Okay.
Allow.
And let's back it up to 80 because he started going to his next statement there.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Good. Good. Okay. Now that works fine when you hit play, but if you want to run your mouse back and forth as you're working, you won't be able to hear anything because we have to turn on scrub. So let's go ahead and pop back into Action Editor, so we'll have that open there. And now go to your scene button right there, F10, and go to the sound block buttons. Click that, and we want to turn on scrub. Now, what I mentioned before with having some problems, Blender kept locking up on me when I tried to scrub backwards. I can scrub forward, I guess, but if I try to scrub backwards, it wanted to lock up. So we'll see if I can just stay going forward this time and not get a lockup. Okay, now he's not going to start off with his mouth open like that. So let's go ahead and close his mouth, scrub his jaw, and just rotate it to where you can see the teeth there, to where they're nearly together. We kind of got the rotation area of the jaw a little off. So you know what? Let's go ahead and fix that. Just grab that, and looks like it needs to. Let's move it down a little bit. And now the teeth will be a little better. Okay, line up a little better. There we go. Okay, now let's pop back into shaded view, and let's turn on the subsurf so we can see how it's going to look when it starts to render. And let's move these lips together so he's got a closed mouth. Let's grab these and just move them down. Let's go into front view so we can kind of see. Kind of see he's got little openings on the sides of his mouth. So the way to fix that is either just move these guys a lot closer together and make it look like he's really pressing his lips together, which I guess would work, but we don't need to do that because, oops. Gotta make sure our automatic keyframe insertion is on because those movements that I just made did not create keys, so I gotta go ahead and do it again. No big deal. Let's go ahead and move the jaw up. Glad we weren't further along. Okay, so now just move the lips closer together, like so. Okay, now back where we were. We got the openings on the sides of the mouth. We don't want that. So one way to fix it is to grab the sides of the middle side. I don't know what you call it. Anyways, these right here, and just rotate them a little bit. Bring it up. Rotate this one a little bit. Bring it down. Some. There we go. And let's just grab those and let's copy and paste the opposite. There we go. So now he's got a nice closed mouth. And you know what? I like to keep my skeleton, my armature, on its own layer so I can turn it on and off easily. So I'm going to do that real quick. Just grab one of my bones, go to object mode, and it's still selected. So just hit M, and I like to put it right below the main scene, the main layer. Okay, now back to post mode. Now I can turn that layer, turn it on and off, hold down shift, and now we can see we've got his mouth nice and closed. So that's where we're going to start talking. So let's go ahead and turn that layer back on so we can see what we're doing. And you know what, let's go ahead and turn off subsurf. Things will go a little smoother. You can move your armature a little easier with subsurf turned off. Okay, let's start talking. So start dragging the slider up, and soon we'll be able to hear where he starts making noise. Allow me. That's where he's starting to say. So let's grab that jaw and let's open a little bit. This is not, he's not forming the A sound yet, but he's getting ready to. So let's start opening his mouth just for, if anything, just so we have another keyframe right here. We don't want to have a slow mouth open to form the words. We want it natural. It's like closed, and then he starts talking, not just starts talking. You understand. Okay, so now we'll go up a few more frames. And go ahead and open his jaw. We'll mess with the lips after we get the jaw motion down, and you'll see why it's a lot easier to work with that way. Okay, so now he's got and let's rotate it back. And ow. And then M, allow me. Yeah, I know the sound sounds way off, but you kind of gotta listen for it. It's not exactly on the sound that you want. You just kind of have to guess a little bit. This is it lets you know about where the sound is, and so you can guess and form your words. And then when you get done moving your bones where they need to be, you can go back and play it. If it's off a little bit, you can adjust your keyframes. So that's what we're going to do. So where's he at? Let's go back and hit play.
Allow me.
I think he's saying
allow me to.
Okay, he's forming the M on me. So let's move his lips a little closer together so we can get that sound. There we go. I'll zoom in here. A couple more frames. Open his mouth so we can say E. And then a couple more frames. 2. not quite closed. He's just forming the T sound. To. Now he's ooh. Okay. And in. Kind of like the T. Not quite closed. Intro. Do. Kind of like the N and the T. Deuce. And then self. And then get the F sound at the very end. Self. Then maybe just like some recovery action. Selfa or something, you know. Nice exaggerated motion. Okay, so now let's zoom out and let's see how close we got.
Allow me to introduce myself.
A little off at the beginning, so...
Allow me to introduce myself.
Okay. So, let's... looks like we started off right here on frame 20. Ended at frame, like, 72 or 73. 73, it looks like. Okay. So, it kind of matched up towards the end. Let's look at it again.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Okay. Let's grab everything and move it forward, say about 5 frames or so. Now let's play.
Allow me to introduce myself.
That's fairly close.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Looks like we have some extra stuff going on here. Let's see what this might be. So maybe that one was extra guy. Let's get rid of him. Let's kind of just space these out a little better. Okay. Now let's get back here.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Let's see where he says M.
Mine.
Okay, I think this was the self part. Let's drag this out some. And let's put this up here. This should be the M. Yeah, I think so. Okay, rewind.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Closer. Myself is a little shorter word, so let's put the cursor about where it should start and just scale these down. They scale around the cursor, or the time slider. So I'd like to scale the beginning of it up just a little bit. So let's put the time cursor there, scale it up just a little. There we go. Okay, let's see what it looks like now.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Still need to speed up that myself part at the very end.
Name.
Okay.
Allow me to introduce myself.
That's not getting very much better, is it? Maybe this will work. Okay, let's see.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Wow, that got even slower. Maybe it's these guys up here.
Self.
Ah, I think that's the M sound right there. Got a lot of extra motion there towards the end, don't we? Okay, let's see what it looks like.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Okay, the myself looks about the right speed, but it's in the wrong spot, so let's move it up. Let's see what it looks like.
Allow me to introduce myself.
There we go. But we've got some extra motion at the end, like I said. Get rid of that. Let's see how it looks. With lip syncing, you really get sick of hearing the same audio clip over and over, so it's a good idea to take breaks sometimes, so it's not quite so repetitive. But let's see.
Allow me to introduce myself.
There we go. We got the jaw motion pretty well set. Now it's going to be a little easier to match up the lips. So let's go into front view and start trying to form these words. You say allow me. It's kind of a sound, even though it's spelled with an A. We kind of got the U sound, so let's kind of make us almost a frown, but not quite. And you know what? Let's go ahead and turn subsurf back on so we can form these words a little better. Okay, looks like we were really close to the very beginning where his lips were closed, so let's drag these up a little bit.
Me too.
You know what? That subsurf's going to slow things down. Let's go ahead and turn it off and just make do. Okay.
Me too.
Allow. Ooh. Kind of has an ooh sound, so let's try to form an ooh shape with his lips. Kind of pooched out some. I can grab the right thing here. Is it the right one? Yeah, doesn't want to come forward too far. Okay. We can just do this one side and copy it over. Allow. Okay, let's grab these. And where's our copy and paste offset? There we go.
Me too.
Allow.
To it.
Seems like our time is it's not synced up, and there's a button to sync it up, but I'm afraid to click it. I'm afraid that might cause it to lock up. So tell you what, if it locks it up, I'll just hit pause and restart it and just keep going. Okay, save it and go ahead and hit sync, and maybe this time it'll sound good.
To it.
It's still off. I'm going to go and turn it back off. I'm scared. Okay, so we can do one of two things. We can just kind of go along and kind of match our lips up with the motion of the jaw because we know what he's saying, or we can pop into the video sequence editor and just kind of drag the audio up a little bit, and then we'll be able to scrub back and forth a little. Well, not back, just forth. Remember, back locks me up. So, okay.
Allow.
Maybe not quite so far on that. Where was it? Video sequence editor. Drag it forward a little bit. Okay, now let's see. Action editor. Okay.
Allow me.
Allow.
Allow me to introduce.
I guess the ow
Me too.
is gonna be.
Me too.
Yeah, it's gonna be right here. Oops, don't want that jaw one, just the lips. I guess this is that's gonna be the L sound. So we can get we can get real meticulous and have the tongue form the words. Oops, looks like my weight painting grabbed part of that lip. Go ahead and fix that real quick. Weight paint, grab my subtract, and this bone here. Yeah, there we go. Wait, that's the wrong one. That's not the tongue. There we go. Yeah, it's got part of the chin. Okay, now back to where we were. Back to object mode, and grab that tongue. Okay. Allow. It's gonna form an L. Tongue goes to the roof of mouth. So that's how you can do it if you want to form like L, T, D, all of the letters and phonemes, as they're called, phonetic formations of the words. You can go ahead and use the tongue if you really want to get detailed with it. Since I'm just showing you guys a basic way to lip sync, I'm not going to mess with the tongue motion. So we're not gonna worry about that. We'll just do it lips, just the lip syncing part. Okay, so allow
me to
that's whereas
to it.
so lips go together to form the M sound. Let's go ahead and pull them back. Actually, you know what? I kind of skewed them around when I formed that O shape. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab. Actually, the very first ones, because his mouth was closed, and just Shift D, duplicate him down, And boom, we got our M sound.
Me
Allow me.
to
E kind of has almost like a smile, like he's like E. So let's give him, make his mouth sing an E shape. Me, allow me to okay. Now he's making a t sound, so don't need to be smiling anymore.
Allow me to introduce. Allow me to.
Oh, since I changed the audio clips, go ahead and pop it back to 0 just so we can test out.
Allow me to introduce myself, Mike.
Okay, let's turn off the skeleton so we can kind of see where we're going here.
Allow me to introduce myself, Mike. Allow me to introduce.
I got some. Anyways, so that's basically how you you lip sync. You just form the lips around how the words are going. And since we're past 20 minutes, I don't want to, you know, keep going with this and bore you anymore. So I'll tell you what I'll do. So you can finally learn this guy's name. I will continue to lip sync it, and I'll just go ahead and turn off my video recorder. I'll lip sync it up, and then I'll turn it back on, and you will get to hear his name. So stand by. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. Are you ready to hear his name? I think you are. One thing I'm going to show you real quick is how to render audio out with your video clip. So what I've done here is I've, aside from, turn off the audio so I can scrub back and forth. I guess I need to turn off the scrub. There we go. So now, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, in order to get our audio out with our video, let's go to your rendering. And I went ahead and changed the output to talk, or test talk 001. Remember we did test walk a while back. FFmpeg is, from what I understand, the only renderer that will, or the only format that can have audio attached to it. I could be wrong, or they might be updating it in the next few versions or something, but as far as I know, FFmpeg is the only audio export. So click on your audio tab here, multiplex audio, and you're good to go. Now it's going to take the audio up here. I went ahead and split this up and put my video sequence editor there, and the action editor here. I know what you're thinking. You said 3, 2, 1. Well, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and render out. Control click for a test animation. You see, says it, introduces himself, and then he goes to shake your hand with a big smile. So let's see what that looks like and sounds like. I'm going to open that up. Over here, let's see. I'm off the screen from the recorder. Let me find that clip I just made. Test talk. Okay. Open it up with the good old VLC media player. And I'll go ahead and drag that into the frame so you can see it. Turn it up. Not sure if I'm recording audio through the computer, so I'll just turn up the speaker so the microphone can grab it. Okay, here we go.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Johnny Blender.
Well, that was a little off. Johnny Blender, that's his name. That's the name I gave him. Looks like we need to scrub our audio back a little bit. Not scrub it, but move it back. And let's go ahead and do that again. You don't hear it right now, but it's on there. Alright, let's see what it looks like now. Open with VLC Media Player.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Johnny Blinder.
It's way off now. That's the thing, you just gotta keep playing with stuff. Let's move it up to about right there. Now, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the subsurf so we can kind of see a little bit better view. There we go. Now let's try it. You can see it's rendering a little slower now because it's having to calculate more polygons and everything. So. Okay, now close that out and open it back up.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Johnny Blinder.
Okay, I guess that'll work. Name Johnny Blinder. I don't know, something. Anyways, that's how you do that. Thank you for watching. I hope you were able to get something from all my nonsense talking. So, anyways, that's all for this one. And I think I'll do one more segment, another tweaking segment. I was playing with some more settings on the texture mapping, and so I'll show you guys another cool thing you can do with that. Okay, that's all for part 27. See you in part 28.